Welcome to my 10.5 skills video, and I'll be talking about the farming facility here. It's our heated shop. This is the wash bay where we wash all our vehicles, and we do this because there's a drain right here that goes all the way up and down on this side of the shop, and it goes into the sump pit, and you clean it out when it gets full of solids. This here is the welding area. We do most of our metal work and metal cutting over here. Metal cutting with the saw there, and we have stick and MIG welders and the gas, and yeah, just this is where all of the tools are stored that aren't needed to be moved around all the time. Another advantage of this shop is its high roof. It allows us to store big machines like this tractor here with plenty of room around it, especially in the winter time when things need to be worked on. This is one of the many examples of tool shelves and compartments in this shop. We have 2 workbenches on wheels, and we have 2 on wheel toolboxes, and then we have this shelves, and then that for bolts. And then across the shop, we've also got this tool bench and shelves for more electrical based stuff and hydraulic hoses. This is the woodworking setup in our shop here. We have all the tools you need for any woodworking project. Again, we use these shelves here to store extra things and fertilizers and chemicals of sorts. Now I'll show you what the living quarters part of the shop looks like. Here's the bathroom, and there's a sink there. Here's the boiler room, and one bad thing about the shop is the boiler room. Well, I think we need an extra room, just because I feel like we don't need all these sample pails piled up in the boiler room, and they could be stored somewhere else. So that's one drawback of the shop. There's not an extra room. It seems pretty crammed in here because of all the sample pails. So yeah. This is our part storage room. We do inventory on it once every 6 months, and we use it to store specific and expensive parts like air filters and oil filters, as well as specific kinds of parts that need replacing all the time, and it helps us just keep track of them. And then our air compressor's also in here. This is kind of the kitchen and meeting room for the start of the day, and then that's my dad's office in there. It's got a fridge and kitchen, sink, and one of the things I change about this shop is its doors. It only has 2 actual walk-in doors, and I think this is just an accessibility thing. It's not very convenient because if you're working on that side of the shop, if you're working on the south side of the shop and you just close the door on that side, then you have to walk all the way around to get back in through there. Especially on a really cold or windy day, that can feel like a lot of running around, especially if you're moving equipment around in here and just making more space, I guess. The good thing about most of our doors is that they all have closed door sensors, and these will trigger if the door is closing and somebody walks and breaks the invisible laser going through, and then they'll stop and start going back up. And this can help save like an animal from running in and out, or it can help save just somebody who's not paying attention, or even a vehicle. The problem with these sensors is that sometimes the battery goes all wonky, and on really sunny days, the rays from the sun can trigger the invisible laser and whatever. And this makes it annoying when you're trying to close the door, especially on a hot day when you're not wanting the air conditioning to work harder than it has to. These two big doors here, it's kind of a safety hazard because they do not have the sensors, and this could lead to injuries if you're not careful. So whenever somebody's in the shop, we always make sure to let them know that these doors are not the same as the other ones, as they're a lot bigger and they don't have the sensor. On every one of our shop doors, we have these yellow posts, and these are to save somebody cutting in too close to the edge and hitting part of the garage, or hitting part of the door or the edge of, or the edge of the wall, and this just saves potential damages. One drawback of this shop is the eavesdrop system is really good in the summer, but in the winter, when the snow melts, it makes everything around it super icy just because the drainage isn't that great in the winter. It flows nice in the summer, but when not everything's frozen, it screws it up.